Long irons and driving irons are quickly becoming a thing of the past. Today I am testing out some new fairway woods from PXG's Lightning range that are in the bags of PGA professionals. But I believe that an everyday golfer would benefit even more by putting these highly lofted fairway woods into their golf bags. Because today we are talking about a 9-wood. This could potentially replace your 5-iron or your 4-iron depending on what set of clubs you have. A lot of technology and a lot to discuss. Now, if you're sick and tired of persevering with those 4-irons on screen, or maybe even the same kind of shots with a driving iron, then this club could be perfect for your golf bag, because down behind the golf ball we have a completely different look. It doesn't look too lofted, but it certainly looks a lot more forgiving. It's confidence inspiring, and this is a brand new Lightning range which has more of a squarer look but does have a faster face than the Black Ops. We do have more forgiveness, and we certainly have a lot of versatility regarding the changing of the sleeve and also the weights on the bottom. But here's another hole where I would normally be hitting 4-iron and I'd feel like it'd have to be perfect. Whereas even in breezy conditions today, that is straight down the middle, and I would say as far as I would hit a 4-iron. But one big thing there is it doesn't feel like I really have to do a lot of effort compared to this. Now, if I bring in my Tacoma 301 CB 4-iron, this certainly is one of those clubs where we all know what happens here. You get on there, you're trying to get it just down there in position, driver goes into the bunkers, or 3-wood goes into the bunkers, and we start to try and help this ball into the air. You look down at that, and even as a PGA professional, it certainly doesn't look as confidence inspiring as the elusive 9-wood. A similar ball flight there, just up the right hand side, drawing back, and an identical distance to that 9-wood. And I know which one was easier standing over that shot. And if the likes of Tommy Fleetwood, Dustin Johnson and the DP World Champion Matt Fitzpatrick have these in their golf bag, then why don't you? Hi guys, if you're new to the channel, then welcome to this YouTube channel. It is very much new club testing season, which we know is a fan favourite for a lot of you subscribers out there. So make sure that you're checking out the next couple of weeks. We'll have a lot of new stuff coming from myself and mid-handicap Dave. But like I say, these Lightning woods, they have brought out new Lightning fairway woods. They have brought out a tall fairway wood, which we will be filming very soon, and they've also brought out some new hybrids now which go down all the way to an 8-iron. So PXG certainly going more forgiveness wise here. They're certainly looking to fill the bags of more everyday golfers, and that's what we're trying to show here today, that this 9-wood could be in my golf bag, it could be in your golf bag if you're a 5 handicapper, it could be in your golf bag if you're a 10 handicap golfer, it could potentially be going in Dave's bag as a 14 or 12 handicapper now even, and it could be going in somebody's who's brand new to the game, like Jimmy on the channel, somebody that maybe doesn't get the ball in the air, maybe they haven't got enough speed yet in their swing to hit those long irons, and this could make the game a lot easier. But let's hit a couple more shots with this out on the golf course, and then we've got to introduce another club with even more loft. Stay tuned. But down here, if we look before we jump on the next tee, straight away there, we can see for distance wise, identical. And I'm sure one looked a lot easier. Now the big talk when it comes to a wood like this, a 9-wood, is who is it directed for? And that's what a lot of people will be asking. A lot of people probably watching this video are thinking, well, let's see mid-handicap Dave test this, because this is a club that potentially he could have in his bag. We know in Dave's bag this is going to replace something such as his 5-iron or his 5 hybrid. But there are tour players using these. So Dustin Johnson used this famously a couple of years ago. Matt Fitzpatrick has had one of these in his bag for a while. But we've also seen people like Tommy Fleetwood have a 9-wood in the bag. And you may ask why. A lot of times they're playing in more perfect conditions. They want to get that landing angle from this club. They're just like us as well. They are normal people. They want to get forgiveness. They want to get something that might be more consistent, and if it's a 9 wood over a 5 iron, then it's something that can go in the bag. Obviously down behind the golf ball, we've discussed a fantastic looking head here from PXG, and like we saw in the first shot, a good ball flight. Even like we've said today, into that breeze, it's not moving in the air, and that's into position A, 150 yards into this par 4. We can't hit driver here because it might end up on the A57. So far so good from this club. So should we take a 5 iron out? For me, this will replace my 4 iron. If you're somebody with maybe a CB set, then this would replace potentially your 4 iron like it would for mine in my Tacoma 301 CBs. So where else is it good from? Because it's not just this club we're talking about today, because PXG have brought out hybrids all the way down to an 8 iron now, so we've got plenty of options for forgiveness for every level of golfer, but they've also brought out an even higher lofted club than this 9 wood. Now we know PXG have been the front runner here. They have got their stuff out a little bit earlier than the rest this year. Obviously being released in December is around about a month before everybody else's. But they have made a fantastic start. Again, I thought the driver performed exceptionally well. It was great to go down and get fitted. It is a different sound, and this is something where drivers change over years. For me, the biggest thing was, yes, I saw some more forgiveness, I saw longer shots, but the sound was a real big difference for me in regards to my first take of the driver. Because looks, again, looked fantastic, looked like the last generation, the Black Ops, which did do exceptionally well and perform well across the board. But now they've brought out, we know, the Lightning Tour woods, they've brought out the Lightning Fairway woods, and they've also brought out the new hybrids. Like I mentioned there on the tee, down to an 8 hybrid now, so if you're looking to potentially get something a little bit easier, just like mid-handicap Dave, then they could be the perfect option for you. But if you don't like the look of a hybrid, I think these woods are fantastic, and it was one of my lessons who's probably watching this video, Stu, who brought an 11 wood down. It was the first time I've seen one in the best part of 10-15 years, and I hit it and it was fantastic. And that's the other wood that PXG have brought out. So they do now have a 27 degree 11 wood. So we have the adjustable weights on the bottom, we have all the forgiveness, and that potentially will replace your 6 iron, which I'm sure there's a lot of you behind the screen thinking, I don't really like my 6 iron, I'm all right from 7 down. Could be another option. And I know you might be saying, well, you're a PGA professional, I know it's easy for you to hit a 9 wood down there, but the main thing for me there was I didn't have to think about it. I'm not trying to get that ball up in the air, because a lot of people struggle when it comes to a long iron in trying to help that ball up. Same with the hybrid, because it's not that bigger size head. You're like, okay, I've just got to hang back a little bit on this, get the ball launching. But we're in position A here just to hit this onto the green now, and I've turned what is a relatively tricky hole off the tee into something easy with having an extremely high lofted fairway wood in, although there is that 11 wood now. See there, straight at the flag. 9 wood 8 iron into this par 4, and we've set up a birdie chance. Even in the breeze, that 9 wood is doing a job. Now let's test out that 11 wood, but obviously let's talk a little bit more about this technology. In the standard version of these woods, that we do know that squarer looking toe and face design does maintain a low CG with perimeter weighting. And the weight locations, as you can see, are pushed to the extreme. So different to the driver, because we know that the weights were a little bit more centered here, and we also know they've moved this weight to the back to get more carbon. A little bit different in these fairway woods, and when we talk about the tour fairway woods, we see that we do just have 2 weights in there, and they're designed, as we know, with most tour heads to either get you a little bit more launch and more spin, or take spin off. It's not a case of trying to get it more heel to toe for a fade or a slice. For something like a fade, or if you're hooking the golf ball. So let's go 11 wood first, because this is equivalent to the 6 iron. And again, feels fantastic off the face. Drawing up the left hand side, that's left of the green, but it should be the distance, and we're into a little bit of the breeze here today. It's still launched high, but it doesn't look like it's losing ball speed. You might be saying, well, if it's windy conditions, then I couldn't use these. I still think you can there. I still think that's a nice divot that I've just taken there. It's still a controlled ball flight. It hasn't been too affected, but the man we know that needs to test this is mid-handicap Dave, which will be coming very soon before he has his surgery. So get in the comments below and wish Dave good luck. He's got to have thumb surgery, which will have him out for 6 to 8 weeks, sports fans. So we are trying to get ahead with plenty of videos, so let us know what you want to see from Dave coming very soon. We'll try and get as much as possible. So into the 6 iron. And that's the difference there. So that's a thin one, not a fantastic strike, and I'm guessing that will have come up short. And that very much then, again for me, is looking down at the golf ball, it doesn't look as easy as that 11 wood to hit. And I know there'll be a lot of people saying, when I mentioned the 9 wood and the 5 iron, is that, well, I've replaced my 5 iron, I've got a 5 hybrid in there, I'm happy with that. But potentially these woods will make that even easier for you. And a lot of people draw the line at 6 iron. You still maybe want to see that iron down below a 7 iron because that's the light, that's the look you like, that's what gives you more confidence than something a little bit bigger. But also what I find with these clubs is that longer shaft length makes it a little bit easier, and this is where I'm going to be very interested to see with mid-handicap Dave how he gets on with them, because the longer the club, he doesn't have to try and get that hybrid to go that little bit further. He doesn't have to catch it perfect. If he mishits one of these woods, is it going to outperform those hybrids? We have seen in that recent fitting, when we went down to 11 for their brand new fairway woods that are coming out in January as well, that they did slightly outperform. We got a little bit more launch, we got a little bit more speed from that club length or the shaft length, which then filled a gap. So could these fill another gap in Dave's bag to get him single figures next year? Let's go and see where they are. And as I walk down here, this is a prime example. So a misstruck 6 iron is around about 40 yards short. A good 11 wood has come up there, but this is where, for me, I think that yes, a well-struck 6 iron might have got there, but if I misstruck that 11 wood, it's going to come off a little bit faster off the face and potentially would have still got a little bit closer to the green. So this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking about forgiveness. Can this give me a little bit more? Can it give you a little bit more? It's giving the likes of Matt Fitzpatrick, like we mentioned, Dustin Johnson, Tommy Fleetwood, who've all obviously had pretty decent careers, certainly a lot better than all of ours in golf, but it's giving them the edge, it's giving them the ability to win. So if it's going to make your golf a little bit easier, then why not potentially look at one of these clubs? And again, PXG wise, you can get fitted up and down the country. The woods look fantastic. They don't look any different, I would say. They don't look like, okay, because they're higher lofted, they haven't made them look huge, they haven't made them look terrible, they haven't put cheap shafts in them. They are as premium as the tall woods. Yes, a slightly different look, we get the forgiveness because that's who it's for, but they could be fantastic options to go in your bag for that 5 iron and 6 iron, which is where I see a lot of people struggle. A lot of people who come for lessons are always searching for a new driver, maybe some new wedges, maybe a new putter, but they never look where you should change or where they should change in the bag. Because if we can make those long irons to mid irons a little bit easier and get you hitting more greens, we know what that results in. And that is lower scores. Not only helping you off the tee box just like this, mainly because of making it easier to hit it higher, longer, and onto more greens from distances just like this. Guys, you'll have seen a lot of PXG reviews recently. They are the first to come out for 2026, and if they are anything to go by, then it's certainly going to be a fantastic year for club releases. These clubs right here, the Lightning Fairway woods, especially the 9 wood and 11 wood, could be something perfect for your golf bag going into that 2026 season, but you'll see all the range of tall woods coming very soon. Guys, get in those comments below, let me know what clubs you are looking forward to, what brands you are looking forward to, and if an 11 wood or a 9 wood is something in your bag or something that might be going in your bag. Guys, hopefully you're enjoying the content, and if you are, smash that subscribe button and we'll see you again very soon.